Shalom, brother and sister truth seekers. So, anything can change, but preliminarily, it looks like everyone I heard from today for the 19th is not seeing a straight line or an equinox reading yet. Maybe people are, I would definitely touch base tomorrow to see if anyone maybe just didn't get to sending their data out this evening that might have saw a straight line today, but we'll walk through what we have for today right now and check back tomorrow to see if there are any updates. So yellow means they were going to try and collect data, and if I've got notes, then we'll go ahead and flip through it. So Tara, I know she tried. Uh, and I haven't heard from Enzo, but I know they've got like some pretty intense weather happening um, this time of year. So here's Wendy from South Africa, and she had 8.5 hours of data. I guess she. I'm waiting for a better picture of the data. I didn't get what she sent me. Didn't have the endpoints all in the same shot. So, but she's been, she's a very seasoned sundialer, and she thought she was still seeing the pre-equinox curve. So, and in addition, there was another truth seeker in South Africa who had excellent data to confirm Wendy's thought, and we will take a look at that. Um, Collected data on the ground and on the boards, 11.5 hours of data. So I flagged this one as solid. This is a solid witness as far as I can tell. So let's see. What am I looking for here? So we'll start in South Africa. And, oh no. This better not take this long to open. All my pictures tonight. So I recommend you just jump in here and have a look. It was pretty cool. I don't know if I can make these larger so I don't have to open them. But she had some rocks in the yard, and she thought she was still seeing the post equinox or pre equinox curve. I like the idea of using a taller sundial. I think it helps exaggerates the movements we're really straining to see on a small board. 11.5. I think this is the key one we'll try and look at if my computer allows us to open it. And it must be that my computer is just like maxed out. It is going really slow, unfortunately. Okay, so yeah, this is the last point of the day, and this is the first point of the day. And if you were to, so this actually should be flipped. Because, well, if I like to look at these standing facing north, so like north is up here, so if the if the sun's rising in the east, it's casting that first morning point over here. And the thing that I think we're seeing is this smiley face. That's kind of a theme in everyone's data that we'll be seeing is this smiley face. So that was a pretty solid data set, I think. Got all this open. Who's next? So we had me in West Virginia, and I guess I'll try not to spend too much time talking about it, but I had snow yesterday, and I had clouds this morning, so I wasn't able to do my boards, but I was able to take pictures of the sun with my solar filters. This is all experimental, but I guess I'll share real quick. So what I did was I just snapped these pictures. I put my camera in the same exact mount location same exact location, same exact orientation. I just slid my camera into the mount and took these different pictures like 30 minutes apart, and then I pulled them into Excel and I threw them all up into the corner to justify all the edges, and then I cropped them down so they weren't blocking each other, and you can see how the sun's kind of moving across the sky, similar to how we track data points on the board. And so this has been a learning experience. I wouldn't call this gospel by any means yet, but I think it could possibly be refined and continue to test, check it, and test and check it against what other people are seeing with their data on the boards and other sundial methods. But this was an interesting learning experience because it all seemed good, and I tried it again yesterday, and I discovered something that you really have to watch out for if you ever try this. I pulled all my photos. This is yesterday's data, the 18th. I pulled all my photos into Excel, slammed them all up into this corner to justify them all to the same edges. And all of a sudden, I noticed when I brought this photo in, the sun was like way up here compared to like all these other ones, and it's like obviously way off the line. And I realized, oh my word, my phone resized or resumed the photo. Like it's not even that it resized it. Like I can pull this. It's not even a close match. Like it was sometimes I guess these phones, these technology, it's getting too smart for its own good. But anyway, that's something you really have to watch out for, and that's something that kind of got me like oh my goodness, 7 years ago or whenever the last time I was trying this. I had a really fancy camera back then, but I noticed then with that camera that it was also doing funky things, changing the photo size and stuff. And it's really important if you ever try this that your camera is sitting in the same exact mount, location, and orientation. And when it takes the picture, they are all the same exact size, zoom, and it's not doing any of that funny business behind the scenes. So this was a little depressing yesterday, and I mean, I literally I was dragging in the last photo to see where it landed, and then I realized something was majorly wrong. Um, so I almost gave up on it, but then I researched it a little and I found out there was an option. There's a way to like turn all that fancy stuff off and take pictures that won't like automatically resize and all that. So that's what this was today, and to looks like this one might be an outlier, and like I'm using a wooden mount, so it does kind of bounce around. In a perfect world, I would imagine like carving a mounted spot out of a large rock in your yard or something that will absolutely not move during any time of year. But pushing out the outlier there, it kind of looks like these are all straight, and I almost thought that's what we were expecting to see today based on previous years, but that does not seem to be what anyone else has seen that I've heard from so far. Maybe there are other people who've been collecting seeing otherwise, but it seems like there's a pretty substantial pre-equinox curve still in the data sets. That smiley face. So I don't know if like this was like a week ago that I took these pictures on the 9th. Um, and you can see the dates here from past experiments I was doing. I was pretty certain we were going to see the sunlight flip to one side or the other of this line, but I think I was only under that impression in the past because maybe there was something funky going on with the photo sizes for all these past pictures. And so I can't say anything conclusive about this. I would really, now that I've turned all those like automatic readjust your photo size madness in the phone, I guess I'd like to try this again like tomorrow or the day after to see what it looks like if, because it might either be clear that it's flipping and maybe this was straight, or because I'm only looking at 2 to 3 hours of data, maybe this just isn't enough. And unlike what I said in the previous videos, maybe it is you maybe it's not like a cheat. You would maybe you're kind of in the same boat as you are with the board, where you need more hours of data to see that flip or any kind of curve. Like if I'm only looking at 2 to 3 hours of data, you've heard me say it before for the boards, like we really want to shoot for 10 hours of data. I was just hoping, I was just curious. I mean, actually, I didn't even want to do the straight line test with this data. I was trying to compare it with the location of Orion's belt in the heavens. I think I got other pictures here showing that somewhere. I don't know which one it would be. Somewhere in here, I was like over, yeah, all this stuff. I was trying to figure out like where that center line of heaven was, where the celestial equator was, and I wanted to compare the sun's position like in the fall, because it seems like there's something weird that's happening with the straight line in the fall. So I wanted to see, and I may still compare this to what we see next fall to see where the data is. But right now, aside from that, I don't know if this is showing us enough hours of data to see that curve or not. I don't know if I was just seeing a curve on previous days like this just because there was some photo size readjustment. So I'm gonna still keep toying around with that, but nothing conclusive about that right now. Indiana, there was a Qumran sundial. We could take a quick peek at that. I don't know if my computer is being so slow at opening pictures. I don't know if I'll go ahead and open that. But everything, all these pictures are here. If you go to the check out the description below this video, you'll see a link for a shared Dropbox folder. So I'm going to skip Eastern United States because I think it was only me and the Qumran sundial, but the picture's in there if you want to look at it. We had some interesting data coming from central United States. And let me see. Oh, we also had Robert. He said I think there's a picture of his armillary data in there from Texas, but he said it's inconclusive for today. He's waiting for tomorrow to say. Then we have, so here we have our central United States data sets coming in. We had a lot with Iowa, and these are, so if I color the text green like this, that means I thought it was pretty good. It's just like one step below perfect, but I think 9 or more hours I'll color the font green. If I make the cell green in the background, then that was 10 or more hours of data. So we'll just take a quick look at all these real quick, but they were pretty much all in agreement, all the way down to even, yeah, remnant of light. I guess we'll talk about that in a minute too. But let me see if I can pull up some of these pictures, because there was one interesting one in this one, Mississippi or Canada, or Kansas. Oh man, it's just a shame that my computer's being so slow. Um, So this was middle marks appear to be coming off the line. I'm not going to open that right now because my computer's so slow. But all these pictures are available. I'm going to open this one. And there's a video for this one. 10 hours of data, still seeing the smiley face. I'm going to try and open that picture. And let's see if we can see that smiley face again. It's opening on the wrong screen. Okay. Oh man, I must have labeled the wrong photo. I thought I put the label on the picture that actually had there. Okay, so you can see the one that had the straight edge on it. So you can see the points are coming off the line. And this was the morning point, 9:30 a.m. So if you can imagine, the sun would have had to been over on this side to cast the shadow off of that to hit that morning point. So East is over here where the car is. So if you were standing here looking north, you would see that smiley face dipping down. And that 10 hours of data, that was the solid data set. And yeah, I think that was pretty solid. There is nice sharp tip gnomon. Nothing I can see about this to make me doubt what I'm seeing here. So looks like a pre-equinox curve for sure. This was an interesting one I want to talk about. Um, Missouri, no, Mississippi. I'm not sure if she was in Mississippi or Kansas, but let me see if I can open one of these photos. She got 11 and a half hours of data. And so the thing to watch out for when you collect that much data is sometimes the shadow can like be very faint or like ghosting in the morning. And you really want to make sure it's not, if you've got solid sunlight. Wow, this is really not opening. If you've got solid sunlight, then go ahead and get as many hours as you can or want to. 10 is the minimum optimal target. Oh man, it's just not opening at all. My computer has usually not been this bad, but I've got the notes and I'm calling them out here. Oh, here we go. Good, we're getting one. So what happened here was, I think she had an early morning point that was, my guess is that it was a hard to read shadow and she stuck it in the board, and when you plop this line on it, it just, you can't really tell what's going on here. It looks like some points are below the line here, but then most of them are straight over here, and it almost seems like an S curve and makes you wonder, oh, is this like maybe some, like a spot where the sun was curving and then it started to straighten out? Like, is this where it, second half of the day hit a straight path? But and I'm waiting for confirmation on this. But my guess is that this shadow was blurry and she had a hard time seeing it. It's my guess. Because let's think about this for a minute. Let's think about that smiley face. So if this is the last point of the day, then this would actually have to be upside down to see the smiley face. Because east, I would want east to my right. Yeah, if north, like if I was standing here, north would be over here, and I would see a smiley face. But you're not seeing that smiley face here, and you're not seeing a straight line either. And it seems something is wrong, so it doesn't seem to match anything. And so what I did was I ignored that first point of the day, and I took the next point, and then went to the last point. And that, there is the smiley face that we're looking for. Again, if you flip this around, this is going to be rotated. I don't know if I can do that. Okay, yeah. So now we've got, oh, it just can't do it. My computer's really suffering. So anyway, yeah, you saw it for a moment, and that's, so that was an interesting thing to be confirmed. But still, this is, even from here, this is still from here to here is 11 hours of data, which is phenomenal. But everyone should be careful about this sort of thing. Like, don't get too overzealous to get all these hours. Make sure that the data, the shadow is nice and crisp, and it seems like 10 hours is the sweet spot. I think, unfortunately, my computer is really. I'd like to try and open up Nebraska here. I feel like Nebraska was a good data set. But you can do, yeah, 9.5 hours, so I flagged that as almost perfect. I don't know if it's going to open. Oh, good. All right. Trying to. So 9.5 hours isn't as much as the other data sets, but I dropped this green line on here, and you can, it's very close actually. This one's very close, but you can still see the points are slightly above at midday. And again, if we're looking for that smiley face, So this is the morning mark, so that should be flipped around over to this side. And yes, those points would be below the line if this thing was flipped. So it would match that smiley face pre-equinox curve. Sorry, my computer is just it is not acting normal. Um, I did want to. I think it cut off when I was talking about Nebraska. I just wanted to walk through the rest of these real quick. Remnant of Light. I didn't hear anything from Danon today. I haven't heard anything from Marty, but I heard he's collecting. Manna from Heaven tried. They got rained out, and then we had an armillary reading in Washington State. And there's a picture of that one if you want to go check it out. I guess the only one I want to see real quick is Remnant of Light. It was a solid data set, 10 hours and 45 minutes. Here is the link to the video they did for their data from the 19th. Let me see if I can pull it up without my computer crashing. Oh, it'd be nice if I still had pulled up. Yes. All right. So this is, I just took one snapshot of their video, but this is their YouTube channel, Remnant of Light. This is the name of their video that they did for the 19th. And this is the time that I paused to look at this snapshot. This is just showing the midday points, how they're coming off the line here. But they've been doing this for a long time, and it seems like they've got a pretty solid data set. So I flagged it as a solid data set. So that's it for now. I think my computer has had enough. This is the Facebook group. Check this group out if you want to see live updates. I pretty much, as soon as I get anything, I throw it to this group, and people just upload their stuff to this group in live time, or encouraged to. So it's not too late. Please join this effort. Get a board out. Do something. This is an important work. And yeah, just let's have loving iron sharpening iron. And let's learn about our Creator's times. Reach out if you have any questions, or you can upload your data to this group, or you can email me at avoiceoftruthandlove@gmail.com. So stay tuned. I have a feeling tomorrow is going to get interesting. It's going to be a whole lot clearer. That's usually what seems to happen by the 20th. There's just a whole lot more clarity. So let's stay tuned, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. So shalom, and may Allah bless as you continually seek out His truths in love with a pure heart.